Good morning. Before you check your phone, before the notifications start screaming, before you even swing your legs out of bed, pause. You felt it the second your eyes opened. That weight sitting on your chest like a brick you didn't ask for. Your heart is already running a marathon and the day hasn't even started. Your mind? It's already in 3 different rooms you haven't entered yet: the meeting you're dreading, the conversation you've been avoiding, the bill that's due, the decision that keeps circling back like a vulture. And here's the part nobody talks about: sometimes the heaviest thing you're carrying isn't even a specific problem. It's just there. A fog. A pressure. A quiet dread that whispers, something's going to go wrong today. You can't name it. You can't point to it. But you feel it. Deep in your gut. That invisible weight that makes you want to pull the covers back over your head and tell the world, not today. But here's the truth that needs to land in your spirit before you take one more step: no weapon formed against you will succeed. Not the weapon you can see. Not the weapon hiding in the shadows. Not the one that's been forming in secret for months. None of it gets the final word over your life. God is not distant from you this morning. He is near. Right now. In this room. Before you've had your coffee. Before you've fixed your face. Before you've put on the armor of "I'm fine" that you wear so well. He sees the part of you that's tired before the day has even fully begun. He sees the pressure you don't talk about at dinner parties. He sees the wounds you've been nursing in silence, the words someone spoke over you that still echo in the quiet moments, the rejection that made you feel small, the failure that branded you with shame you were never meant to carry. And here's what he's saying to you right now, in this holy pause before the noise takes over. I've already gone ahead of you. Every room you're walking into today, I'm already there. Every conversation you're dreading, I'm already in it. Every decision that feels too heavy, I'm already holding the answer. You don't have to figure it all out by 7 a.m. You don't have to carry the full weight of every outcome on your own shoulders. You don't have to be strong every single second. Because the one who spoke galaxies into existence is standing guard over your life. The one who parted the Red Sea is making a way where you can't see one yet. The one who shut the mouths of lions is silencing every accusation the enemy is whispering against you right now. Isaiah 54 verse 17 declares it plainly: no weapon forged against you will prevail. That doesn't mean the weapon won't be formed. It doesn't mean the attack won't come. It doesn't mean you won't feel the heat of the battle. But it does mean this: the weapon will not succeed. It will not accomplish its mission. It will not take you out. It will not write the final chapter of your story. You are covered. You are held. You are not walking into this day without help. But let me get real with you for a second. Because I know someone listening right now is thinking, that sounds nice, but you don't understand what I'm facing. You're right. I don't know the specifics. But God does. And He's not intimidated by what's intimidating you. Maybe you're walking into a workplace where someone has been undermining you for months. Maybe you're sitting in a marriage that feels more like a battlefield than a sanctuary. Maybe you're watching a child make choices that are breaking your heart. Maybe you're staring at a bank account that doesn't add up no matter how many times you run the numbers. Maybe you're grieving a loss that nobody even knows about because you've been carrying it alone. These aren't small things. And I'm not going to stand here and pretend a nice prayer makes them disappear. But what I am going to tell you is this: the God who sees you right now is bigger than every single one of those giants. And before you start your day, before you check the news, before you answer that text, before you walk into that situation that's been keeping you up at night, I want you to do something. Something that might feel small but is actually a prophetic act of faith. I want you to take a slow breath. Right now. Inhale. Exhale. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. And as you do, I want you to picture this: the presence of God surrounding you like a shield. His peace settling over your mind like a blanket. His protection going before you into every room you'll enter today. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And the pressure you're feeling right now? It doesn't get to define your day. The invisible pressure, that's the most dangerous kind, isn't it? Because you can't fight what you can't see. You can't solve what you can't name. You can't fix what keeps shapeshifting every time you try to get a handle on it. But God isn't asking you to fight it alone. He's asking you to trust that He's already gone ahead of you into every single room. Let me get real with you for a second. Because I know someone listening right now is sitting in the tension between what they believe and what they actually feel. And that gap? It can feel like a canyon some mornings. You wake up, and before your feet even touch the floor, the mental replay starts. The same tape that's been running for weeks, months, maybe years. What if nothing changes? What if I'm not strong enough to handle this? What if the thing I'm secretly terrified of actually happens? And here's the part nobody talks about: you've learned to function with that noise in the background. You smile. You show up. You answer emails and make dinner and pay bills and say I'm fine when people ask. But underneath all of that, there's a quiet war happening in your mind that nobody sees. God sees it. He sees the pressure you don't post about. He sees the fear you don't voice out loud because saying it would make it too real. He sees the exhaustion behind your eyes when you're alone at night and the mask finally comes off. And here's something that might shift your perspective: God is not intimidated by the thoughts you're afraid to admit you're thinking. You think He's surprised that you're doubting? That you're frustrated? That you're wrestling with whether His promises actually hold up against your reality? He's not. The Psalms are full of people crying out, "God, where are you? Why haven't you answered? Why do the wicked prosper while I'm struggling to keep my head above water?" David, the man after God's own heart, wrote things that would probably get you called unspiritual in some circles today. So let's not pretend the struggle isn't real. Let's not spiritualize away the pressure you're actually carrying. Let's name it. Maybe for you, it's the voice of someone from your past that still echoes in your head. A parent who told you you'd never amount to anything. An ex who made you feel worthless. A boss who dismissed you. A so-called friend who betrayed you. Maybe for you, it's the financial math that doesn't add up no matter how many times you run the numbers. Maybe for you, it's the door that slammed shut. The job you didn't get. The opportunity that went to someone else. The relationship that ended and you still don't fully understand why. Maybe for you, it's the weight of watching someone you love make choices that are destroying them. A child. A spouse. A sibling. A parent. And you've done everything you know to do. You've prayed, you've intervened, you've cried, you've begged, and nothing is changing. Or maybe for you, it's just the slow, grinding pressure of life itself. The accumulation of small stresses that, taken individually, seem manageable but together feel like you're being crushed under the weight of 1,000 tiny stones. Here's what I need you to hear: you don't have to pretend that pressure doesn't exist. You don't have to put on a brave face for God. You don't have to clean up your emotions before you bring them into His presence. In fact, the invitation is the opposite. Bring the mess. Bring the fear. Bring the doubt. Bring the frustration. Bring the questions you're almost afraid to ask. Because here's the truth: the enemy wants you to hide those things. He wants you to isolate with them. He wants you to feel like you're the only one struggling, the only one who can't seem to get it together, the only one whose faith wavers when the pressure intensifies. That's a lie. And it's a lie designed to keep you from the very thing that would actually help you, bringing your real, unfiltered, unpolished self into the presence of the one who already knows and already loves you anyway. Now let me give you something solid to stand on. Isaiah 54 verse 17, and I want you to really hear this, declares that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. But notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say no weapon will be formed. It doesn't say no attack will come. It doesn't say you won't feel the impact. The weapon gets formed. The attack gets launched. The pressure is real. But here's the line that changes everything: the weapon does not get to write the ending of your story. It doesn't get to define your future. It doesn't get to determine your identity. It doesn't get to have the final word. Fear doesn't get to drive. Confusion doesn't get to rule. Anxiety doesn't get to be the loudest voice in your head. And I know that sounds bold. I know that might even sound impossible to you right now, sitting there with your specific set of circumstances that feel so overwhelming and so permanent. But let me take you to another truth. Ephesians chapter 6, and I'm not going to quote the whole passage, but here's the heart of it: the strength you need doesn't come from you. It doesn't come from your ability to manage stress. It doesn't come from your capacity to problem solve. It doesn't come from your determination to white-knuckle your way through another day. The strength comes from the Lord, and in His mighty power. And then Paul, writing from a prison cell, by the way, not from a comfortable office with a nice view, Paul starts talking about armor. Truth like a belt. Righteousness like a breastplate. Peace like shoes that keep you stable when the ground is shaking. Faith like a shield that actually extinguishes flaming arrows. Salvation like a helmet that protects your mind. And the Word of God like a sword, the one offensive weapon in the whole arsenal. Do you see what's happening here? Every piece of that armor corresponds to a specific attack you're facing right now. The lies that have been echoing from your past? Truth wrapped around you like a belt holds everything together. The shame you've been carrying? Righteousness, not your own, but is covering your heart like a breastplate. The instability and uncertainty that makes you feel like the ground could give way at any moment? Peace that steadies your feet. The accusations, the doubts, the flaming arrows of God has forgotten you and this will never change? So here's the pivot point. And I need you to lean in close because this is where the battle actually gets won or lost, not in the circumstances, not in the waiting room, not in the diagnosis, not in the conflict. It gets won right here, between your ears, in the space where you decide which voice gets the steering wheel. Because up until now, you've been listening to the wrong narrator. The enemy has been running a commentary track over your entire life, and honestly, he's been gaslighting you so long you started thinking his voice was your own thoughts. You're alone in this. You're not strong enough. God has bigger things to worry about. This is never going to change. Reject the lie. Out loud. With your own voice. Not because your voice has some magical power, but because faith has a sound. And the enemy cannot read your mind, he only knows what you believe by what you say and what you do. My home belongs to God. My family is in His care. My future is in His hands. Say it again. My home belongs to God. My family is in His care. My future is in His hands. That's alignment. That's your spirit getting back into agreement with what heaven has already declared over your life. Because here's what the enemy was counting on: he was counting on you staying silent. He was counting on you internalizing the fear until it became a filter over everything you see. He was counting on you never actually opening your mouth and pushing back. But you just did. And something breaks in the spiritual realm when a child of God stops just thinking about truth and starts speaking it. Now let's seal this. Let's take everything we've talked about and bring it before the only one who actually has the authority to change things. Father, I'm not coming to you with polished words this morning. I'm coming with everything I actually am: the fear I've been trying to manage, the pressure I've been pretending isn't getting to me, the situations I don't know how to fix, and the hope that honestly feels fragile right now. But I'm placing it all under your covering. I'm placing my mind under your truth, because my own thoughts have been running in circles and I need yours to take over. Guard my mind from confusion. Guard it from the replay of worst-case scenarios. Guard it from the whispers that tell me you've forgotten. I place my heart under your peace. Not the fake peace that just numbs everything. The real peace that stands up in the middle of chaos and says, I know who holds this. Steady my heart when the news is bad. Steady my heart when the answer is delayed. Steady my heart when I can't see how this ends. I place my family under your protection. Every single one of them. The ones I'm worried about right now, you know their names, you know their situations, and I'm asking you to move in ways that only you can. Put a hedge around them. Send people into their lives who will speak truth. Block every assignment of the enemy against my household. I place my work under your wisdom. The decisions I don't know how to make. The conversations I'm dreading. The responsibilities that feel heavier than my capacity. Give me discernment that goes beyond my experience. Give me favor that opens doors no resume could open. Give me endurance when I want to quit. I place my future under your sovereignty. I surrender the timeline. I surrender the expectations. I surrender the need to figure it all out before I take the next step. You've already gone ahead of me. You've already prepared what I'm walking into. And I'm choosing to trust that even when I don't understand the route, you've never gotten lost on the way to my breakthrough. Now here's the declaration I want you to carry into your day. I want you to say it until it stops feeling like you're just saying words and starts feeling like you're stating facts. I am covered by God. And I will walk in victory today. Not because the circumstances are perfect. Not because every problem is solved. Not because you feel strong. But because the covering isn't based on your performance, it's based on His faithfulness. And every time you speak those words, you're reminding your soul where your help actually comes from. Not from your ability to control things. Not from your capacity to manage stress. Not from your determination to hold it all together. Your help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, the one who doesn't sleep, the one who doesn't get surprised, the one who isn't intimidated by what terrifies you. So now I'm speaking a blessing over you as you go. May your mind be guarded by truth so that when the lie comes back around, you recognize it immediately and you shut the door before it gets comfortable. May your heart be guarded by peace, the kind that doesn't make sense on paper but anchors you anyway, the kind that holds steady when the ground shakes, the kind that whispers God is still on the throne when everything else is screaming the opposite. May your home be guarded by divine protection, may there be a covering over your family that the enemy cannot penetrate, may the atmosphere in your house shift from tension to peace, from fear to faith, from chaos to calm. May your steps be ordered by wisdom, may you know when to speak and when to be silent, when to move and when to wait, when to fight and when to rest. May you stop second-guessing every decision because you trust that the shepherd is actually leading. And here's the last thing I need you to hear, and I need you to really receive this. God never asked you to pretend the difficulty isn't real. He never told you to put on a brave face and act like everything is fine when it's not. What He asked you to do was bring the difficulty into His presence. Bring the mess. Bring the fear. Bring the questions. Bring the frustration. Bring the part of you that wants to give up. Because that's where it gets handled. Not in your own strength. Not in your own understanding. Not in your own ability to figure things out.